Welcome to the Morning Swim Show for Wednesday, July 21st, 2010. I'm your host, Peter Bush. In the Finis Monitor today, we'll talk to longtime swimmer Holden Bank. It's that time of the year when swimmers suit up for the English Channel swims, and Holden did just that recently, taking part in a relay across the channel. Even though he's not exactly the type of swimmer you would expect this from, Holden Bank joins us right now in the Finis Monitor from Boulder County, Colorado. Holden, welcome to the Morning Swim Show. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
You know, I said not the typical English Channel swimmer because, you know, by trait you're a sprint breaststroker, right?
That is correct, yes.
But you've made the transition, I see.
I'm not going to call it a permanent transition. But yeah, there's still some discussion there.
All right, how was the swim?
The swim was probably one of the most extraordinary undertakings I've ever been a part of, to be honest with you. I think our conditions were such that we had just an absolutely beautiful day. Sun was out, it was nice and warm, it was glassy for the most part. We did have some channel chop from the ships, but as we quickly learned, they weren't as favorable as we wanted, because the temperature started at 53 degrees and descended down to 50.2 in the middle. So it was a little bit like walking to the edge and taking a look over, because you get to a pretty strange place in your head at about 40 or 45 minutes of your hour-long swims.
So when you're talking 50-degree water, I mean, that's on the borderline dangerous mark. You know, did anybody pull out or consider it?
I don't think anybody considered it. I think we each got to a certain point in the swim where we knew we had to keep up a particular stroke cadence to keep the engines burning. Your body basically shuts down and limits blood flow to the extremities so that it can protect its core, and you can feel that cold start seeping in. For me, it was right after about 40 minutes, and I'm 6'4", 230. My wife Wendy actually went into pretty good hypothermic conditions. I mean, she doesn't remember the last 3 or 4 minutes of her swim or getting out of the boat. You know, the second swim was much more challenging than the first, because you jump in and you're instantaneously cold. And for those of us that swam in the slightly warmer water, you know, 52, 53 degrees, just those few degrees made an extraordinary difference when you jump in that second time, instantaneously cold to your core. So we made it our goal to try to prevent Wendy, my wife, from having to swim a second time. She went on our relay, and so we avoided that by 12 minutes, which was a good result.
Hey, Holden, did you have to take any test swim or get any certification for this, or can anyone go to England and do the channel swim?
There's a pretty fair amount of paperwork. You do have to have a doctor's exam and a full physical so that they can certify that you're physically fit and able to sort of withstand the conditions of the channel. And then for swimming, relay swimmers have to complete a 2-hour certification in 60-degree waters or less, and solo swimmers who are obviously in the water for a longer period of time have to do a 6-hour certification swim in 60 degrees or less.
Now, you told me before we started recording that there was a lot less people that have taken part in a channel swim than even climbed Mount Everest.
That's true. We found out while we were there that fewer than what's right around 1,000 people have completed a channel swim, either in a solo capacity or as a member of a relay. And my understanding is that it's well over 4,000 people have summited Everest now.
Now, you didn't have the typical, you know, tons of training time because you've had a lot of injuries recently. I mean, in the past you had shoulder injuries, but then you had a real bad ankle injury just a year or two ago, correct?
Yeah, it was actually in 2005. I broke my ankle snowboarding. I like to call it good air, bad landing, but I'm not so sure about the good air. So I was actually out of the water until about 18 months ago. I wasn't particularly consistent, and as many swimmers can tell you, sometimes as you try to come back from having been out of the water for a long period, it gets really frustrating, especially if you've been in reasonable condition beforehand. And I certainly hadn't been that either. So it took me a little bit to get going again. But about 18 months ago, understanding that I was turning 50 and in masters swimming, aging up is a beautiful thing, I was determined to get in shape both for nationals and then had this opportunity come up as well in the short term. So,
well, good for you for seizing the moment, and we're glad to hear that you're back in the water full time now.
Thank you very much. It's a good thing.
All right, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Holden Bank joining us, one of the latest swimmers to swim the English Channel, and that's it for the show today. I'm Peter Bush, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish.
The July issue of Swimming World magazine offers a preview of the names and faces likely to make a mark at the USA Swimming Nationals and the Pan-Pacific Championships. On the cover is Nick Dolman, one of the names in a crowded field of American backstrokers vying for a spot on the Pan-Pac team. John Lone's profile on page 14 details Dolman's search for a training group that would fit him, and how he has found it at Swim Mac, Carolina. On page 11, we also look back to August 20th, 1989, when 4 American swimmers broke 4 world records in 4 different events in 6 hours at the Pan-Pac Championships. USC's win at the Women's NCAA Water Polo Tournament is featured on page 16, where the Trojans defeated crosstown rival UCLA and ended their 5-year championship winning streak. Our swim section features a humorous look at some of the rookie mistakes veteran swimmer Carlin Pipes-Nielsen has made in her life, and some weight exercises to help people get stronger as they grow older. The swimming technique section has a Q&A with Brett Hawk, the head coach at Auburn University, who continues to build a legacy of success there. The Aquajets of Minnesota set 3 national relay age group records, and they are featured in the junior swimmer section record setters, along with Olivia Anderson. Wayne Goldsmith rounds out the issue with a look at 22 tips for conducting a great taper. If you're not a subscriber to Swimming World magazine, give yourself to the dark side and go to swimmingworld.com and click on the subscribe link.